that's when I realized I could do it.
Surviving COVID. A local DJ who spent 24 days on a ventilator explains what it was like and how he's helping others fight the virus.
You know, it's a human rights issue. There's right and there's wrong.
Baker's back. What the Browns quarterback is saying about kneeling during the national anthem as we get our first look at the Browns on the field in Berea.
Missing the feast. Coronavirus cancels an August tradition for the Italian community. How businesses are coping with the economic and personal losses.
Feast at home. Loretta Paganini shares her personal recipe for cavatelli and meatballs.
And it's Fashion Friday. Some pro tips to take your favorite jeans and a white t-shirt to a whole new level. What's new starts now.
And now, live from WKYC Studios, this is What's New.
Yes, it is, and congratulate yourself. Betsy, congratulations. We have made it to another Friday, which is always a great thing. So, hello again, Northeast Ohio, and thanks so much for choosing What's New. The weekend is here.
Finally.
We're all excited. We hope you're ready for a terrific summer weekend. With Betsy Kling, I'm Jay Crawford.
And it is a beautiful day out there. A little warm, a little muggy. We do have some rain chances that are going to sneak into the weekend forecast. I'll have updates on that coming up in just a little bit. But first, Jay, there's some more news on this whole baseball, what's become a saga going on.
That's exactly right, Betsy. The Mike Clevenger, Zach Plesac drama has taken another turn as the Indians reinstated both players from the restricted list just a short while ago. And then they optioned both to the alternate training site, which is in Lake County. Remember, there's no minor league baseball this year, so they're just relegated to Lake County to work out, but they can't play games. Let's bring in 3 News sports anchor Nick Camino right now to tell us more about this. Nick, what do you make of the move? What do you think?
Hey, Jay, what did Betsy call it? A saga? I call it a soap opera. That's what this has been. I think we got to cut to it very quickly here. This is definitely a punishment of sorts. I know that there were some people that were feeling like this was just a formality, that these guys had to rejoin the club, but this is definitely a punishment of sorts. Little background info for you. Plesac and Clevenger both actually made the trip to Detroit yesterday, and they met with the team. They held kind of a forum, an in-depth team meeting. But ultimately, the Indians front office felt like these guys need to go to the minor leagues. And we know this year, as you said, Lake County is one of their training sites. Jay, if these guys were in the good graces of their team or with the front office, they would be back on the active roster with the Indians getting ready in Detroit. Let's not forget, these are 2 of their big horses in that starting rotation that is such a big part of what this Indians team is going to need to do well in order for them to go as far as they want to go. But this is definitely needs to be viewed as these 2 guys, in my opinion, are in the doghouse right now, and the Indians are trying to send a message to them. And, you know, the whole thing, Jay, about Plesac coming out with that video where he was blaming the media and things like that, I thought the media had covered it very fairly. I don't think anybody took shots. But let's look at what his teammate Adam Pletko had to say about it. I mean, I think the Indians' teammates were as hard as these guys on anybody.
As well they should be. Obviously, there was a trust issue, and you're not just talking about breaking curfew or staying out late and getting in trouble that way. Their actions, really, no other way to say it, put all of their other teammates at risk. And they didn't get the night out on the town that Mike and Zach both were able to enjoy. I agree with you. I think this is a punishment. Look, this is 40% of the best starting rotation in Major League Baseball. And I bring that up, Nick, because we're a third of the way through the season, and right now the Indians are in the 8th and final playoff spot. I don't think they can afford to be without these 2 guys for very long. My guess here is that this lasts a week, maybe. I can't imagine that the Indians are going to keep them off of the Major League roster and unable to participate and help this team try to push for the playoffs for much longer than a week. But really, we have no indication how long this could go.
Yeah, we don't. To your point, I do think that these 2 guys are essential to this club. But the fact that they're not with the club in Detroit anymore just tells us the message that was trying to be sent to them. But you're right. If the Indians want to get to ultimately where they want to go, you're going to need these 2 guys to be a big part of that in the rotation. But right now, those guys aren't there. So we'll see kind of what happens here. I do think this was a strong message from the organization and their teammates.
Absolutely. And I think Zach's video, I know it was well intended. It missed the mark. And I'm sure that that's been discussed internally with the team as well. Nick Camino, thank you so much. We'll see you soon.
Yeah, you got it, Jay.
Betts?
Well, now on your feed at 5, we have a live look for you at the corner of Mayfield and Murray Hill in Little Italy. Now, this is usually packed for the Feast of the Assumption right now, but this year's feast is not going to be celebrated publicly because of COVID-19, and that's only happened a few times since 1898.
Wow. Just to put into perspective how big of a deal this is, there's a side-by-side comparison of the streets this year, that's on the left, and the streets last year. Boy, the feast attracts, we know, 100,000 people a year, so no doubt businesses, Betsy, are going to be hurting.
Definitely are. And our Amani Abraham shows us the impact and the message of hope that's coming from a community surrounded by history.
The sights and sounds fill the streets of Little Italy during the annual Feast of the Assumption.
Primarily at its heart, it's a religious celebration. The highlight of it is always a Catholic Mass honoring the Virgin Mary and then a procession through the streets.
Journalist and historian Laura DeMarco says it's become one of the largest events in Cleveland, attracting about 100,000 visitors.
It's been going on since 1898, with just a few exceptions during World War I, World War II, and this year.
The public celebration and festival has been canceled this year due to overcrowding concerns. It's the Holy Rosary's only annual fundraiser, and it's also a time when local businesses thrive.
2020 is one for the books. We've had just about everything that's happened in the last 102 years happened in the last 90 days.
Guarino's has called this place home for more than 100 years. Owner Scott Phillips says the festival is something they look forward to.
The feast brings in a lot of extra revenue. Some use it for their yearly fund, their yearly fees. We use it for doing extra things around the building. I mean, we're 102 years old. We need a lot of stuff.
Phillips says there's still plenty of support. Reservations are filling up, but the business is still only operating at 50% capacity. There's still hope that they'll make it through.
One of the restaurant owners, Terry Tarantino of La Dolce Vita, he actually put up the giant word faith on the side of his building, and meaning, I think, religious faith, of course, they're across from the church, but also just faith in humanity, faith that they can get through this.
Amani Abraham, 3 News.
It's definitely one of Northeast Ohio's treasured little neighborhoods, and you can't argue with Scott Phillips of Guarino's, but he said last 102 years has happened in the last 90 days. That is such a great summary of how we all feel.
Yeah, it really is, particularly when you consider, Betsy, that this thing's only shut down for the World War I, World War II. It's been so long. It's a big, big event annually for so many people, not just the businesses there, but a lot of people like to go down there and partake in all the festivities, and sadly, this year, that's not going to be the case. But I love the sign that Amani showed there at the end, faith. You've got to have it. You've got to keep it. And the hope is that next year at this time, all of this will be in our rearview mirror, and there will be people on the street corners again celebrating the feast. That's our hope.
Hopefully people remember Holy Rosary Church. This is their big fundraiser.
No kidding. Yes,
that's
absolutely.
a very good foundation part of that neighborhood too. All right. Well, coming up in just a little bit, if you love the feast, and who doesn't, Loretta Paganini, one of my favorite people on the entire planet, shows us how to make up some homemade cavatelli so we can feast at home this year.
All right, now let's get you up to date on the latest COVID-19 numbers here in Ohio. The state reporting 1,131 new cases. That's down slightly, 47 from yesterday. It is also below our 21-day rolling average. Our other major indicators, our positivity rate went down a full percentage point today. It's registering at 4.6%. That is below the WHO's recommended threshold. And that number has been steadily dropping now the past few weeks, as has our number of hospitalizations. COVID-19 patients statewide, that number now at 925, down by 24 from yesterday. We did, however, suffer more deaths today than a day ago. 29 deaths, that is 8 more than the 21 suffered yesterday. Bets?
Well, with the spike in COVID-19 cases across the country, the local Red Cross says they are too. They are also facing an emergency in a shortage of plasma donations. Tiffany Tarpley joins us live with the local story of a survivor who's doing his part to help out. Hi, Tiffany.
Hi, Betsy. We're talking about plasma from those victims who have fully recovered from coronavirus, from COVID-19. It is being used in treatments to help those who are currently fighting. And Jay Williams, he knows this fight all too well. He is a local radio broadcaster, a community radio broadcaster with 49 years in the industry. Williams says he spent 24 days on a ventilator, and doctors told his family they did not expect him to make it, but he lived. But he also says he was told that he would have lingering effects, not being able to walk, loss of kidney function, issues speaking, and more. But he's doing better today. And he's going through the process of giving his plasma. While at times he lost faith on his journey, it's now been renewed.
I don't have to tell you God will heal. I'm proof. I don't have to tell you that God will bless you even though you don't want him to bless you. I'm proof.
It really is a special thing. If you've recovered from COVID-19, if you're feeling better and you're completely symptom-free, we need you right now, especially as we face this emergency need for the product.
So since April, the Red Cross says it's distributed 30,000 units of plasma nationwide. This is from COVID-19 survivors. But more donations are going out than what is coming in. Now, I am told that 1 unit of plasma that comes from one patient, Betsy, it can help up to 3 people.
That is amazing. I have cold chills, 24 days on a ventilator, and he comes out and he says, I'm proof. If you need it, there it is, right? Certainly. What an inspiring story. Really great stuff. Thanks so much, Tiffany.
Well, you might remember earlier this week, I brought up an article that I had read about something called mask mouth. It discussed how some dentists were reporting seeing an increase in gum infections, cavities, and other oral problems. And the speculation was it perhaps had something to do with all of us wearing masks for much of the day. Well, we wanted to check it out for ourselves, and we did. We talked to Dr. Chris Theodoro. He's a dentist in Strongsville. We talked about the impacts wearing a mask all the time can have on our mouths. Here's what he had to say.
That mask is drying out our mouth. When you have a dry mouth, you have an increase of something called Candida albicans, which is like a yeast type of infection that patients can get. They can get dry mouth, sore lips, dry, cracked lips.
Now, the doctor added that anytime you have a dry mouth, it can cause bad breath. It also can increase the level of tooth decay as well as gum disease. Obviously, it's still important to wear a mask. We know this. So here's what he recommends. Carry water and stay hydrated. Drink water throughout the day. If your mouth is feeling a little bit dry, you want to immediately get some water in you. Also, brush and floss regularly, as you always do, but try to even add in a little extra, maybe another flossing a week, an extra brushing a day. Anything you can do, Betsy, to sort of combat this sort of, I don't want to call it a disease, it's a condition.
Right.
When you get that dry mouth, it stands to reason that you would have increased yeast in your mouth, and that can lead to a lot of trouble.
I'm telling you, I don't think I've ever brushed my teeth more than when I'm wearing a mask, because now I'm smelling my own breath.
You know what? You're absolutely right.
Oh my Lord, I'm sorry to all the people that I'm close to.
But we have masks, so we're the ones that have to suffer from it. And thankfully, nobody else can smell it.
Mouthwash is another good option.
Have you noticed, I've noticed this, that after a day where I've had it on more than I haven't, I can feel a difference in my mouth. My teeth feel like, you know how they sometimes get that little furriness on them? I know that's really gross, but if you have a meal and then you don't have an opportunity to brush, and then you have your mask on, it just doesn't feel right. I don't like that feeling at all.
The mask is definitely kind of a new dynamic that our bodies are getting used to, right? Not only do we have the inside the mouth problems, but remember the mask knee? That is still
I do.
an issue,
I remember that too.
right? And I've showed our producers the inside of my mask that I've been wearing this week that I haven't washed. And it's like covered with makeup. So, oh, sorry. Well, hygiene is not exactly my top of mind thing, apparently.
No, but I think it is important to keep in mind here that when I brought that up, there were some people that thought, well, what, we're not supposed to wear masks? Not at all. That's not what we're saying. What we're saying is wear the masks, but keep in mind that you've got to pay a little extra attention to your teeth while you're doing it. Yeah,
definitely.
Absolutely.
All right, well, you look very dapper today.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
It is Fashion Friday. That's why I point that out to everyone.
I didn't know that.
And next we have new ways to style that basic white tee you have tucked away somewhere.
Also, former Cleveland Mayor Dennis Kucinich has something to say about Cleveland Public Power's utility rates.
And we've been watching some little showers popping up west of Cleveland. There's a few blips on the radar farther south as well. This is just the beginning of scattered rain and storm chances in the forecast through the weekend. I have the details for you next. Well, it's Fashion Friday here on What's New, and I think it's safe to say we all have a white t-shirt somewhere in our closet or a drawer. So instead of letting it collect dust, Hallie Abrams, the wardrobe consultant, is here to show us 3 new ways to style it.
I think so many of us have heard about how, oh, just throw it on with jeans and a t-shirt. But really, that can be more challenging and more of a struggle than we think. So today I'm gonna show you how to take the same t-shirt. This one happens to be a tank top t-shirt. I think it was about $25. And jeans, these are a newer pair of stretchy jeans from Zara, and show you how to style it for a date night, for a casual brunch, as well as for if you work in a more casual environment for work. So this is the first look for date night. You throw it on with like a leather jacket, a moto jacket. This one's from Topshop, and a pair of heels. And because we are living in the COVID world, I also thought it would be sort of fun to put it on with a mask that has a little shimmer to it. Now, hold on one second. I'm gonna take the same base, change up the jewelry and the shoes, and all of a sudden we're gonna have a different look. One of the hottest trends this season is a kimono. I love it because it's almost like wearing like a bathrobe, and it happens to look great over jeans and a t-shirt. I would totally wear this kind of outfit out to brunch or to a backyard barbecue. It's also great because it works really well with a flat shoe, a flat slide sandal, and especially if you're gonna be outside on grass, it's great not to have your heels sinking in. I changed up the jewelry to something a little more casual, and I really like how the black chain brings in the black of the shoes and sort of the snakeskin print. But other than that, it's the exact same t-shirt and jeans. Okay, this is the third look. Again, it is the exact same jeans and the exact same t-shirt. This time I tucked the t-shirt in because I used an older silk scarf to create a belt and threw on a longer duster with it. That's a great look because that third piece sort of makes it feel a little more finished and professional. In addition, I put on a pointy toe slide shoe. You could put it on with a heel or a ballet flat or even a bootie as we get into the fall, and it would all work in the same way. Overall, it's an elevated look. And with this look, I would probably use a plain black mask just so that it tied in with the color of the cardigan. So there you have it, 3 distinct looks. This one I would wear to work, especially if you work in a more casual environment, and or if you're working from home and Zooming, it's totally perfect from the waist up.
All right, well, I need a kimono. That's my takeaway.
Well, you know, I've been thinking about getting one myself, kimono.
That and your pointy-toed slide, slide shoes.
I don't have any of those.
Right?
Help me out with that.
Every
Send me a
guy
couple
needs
of
one.
links.
Yeah, you're gonna have to get some.
Yeah.
That espadrilles, I mean, we'll get you hooked up. Wedge heels, now that you know what those are.
I do know what wedge heels are. You taught me, actually. Hey, you're doing weather, too. You double duty queen, you.
Yeah, I know. You're gonna see a lot of it today.
One big question. For those that want to use boats this weekend and enjoy the water, are we going to have more rain than sun? Is it even going to be worth it?
It's not a washout. So here's the thing.
Okay.
This is the beautiful part about technology these days. And I will put in a sweet little plug right now for our app because we do have an interactive radar built into our WKYC app. That is so handy when you are out and about. Look at that, we even have the little gizmo that goes on the screen. I didn't even know we had that.
You asked for it.
Literally, if you're out and you go, I wonder what it looks like on the radar, boop, you pop it up and there you go. It's really easy. And there's gonna be plenty popping on that radar tonight too, and tomorrow. Here's a look at the patio forecast for this evening. Temperatures hanging in the 80s. It's beautiful out there. Okay, it's a little humid, so maybe wear your lightweight kimono rather than your medium weight kimono, but it does look like we should have mostly dry weather for the evening. We have seen a few little blips on the radar. A lot of the bigger action is out to the west of us, at least for the day today. But you can see we do have this little line right here, so there is a bit of a lake breeze, and we've been watching a few scattered showers, especially to the west of Greater Cleveland throughout the day today. Western Lorain, Erie, Huron counties getting a nice shower right now in the Norwalk area. This is slowly going to drift off toward the west toward Bellevue, but it's not living its best life, so we may see that one fade away into a bunch of nothingness. But for the most part, it's just a really warm summer afternoon. Temperatures are varied. Downwind of the lake, where we've had clouds and those showers, we're a little bit cooler, so right around 80 or so in Sandusky, but the rest of the area is cooking well into the 80s with that northeast wind. Notice here, though, the huge difference in the dew points from east to west. Lighter colors in the east, that means lower dew points, more comfortable, even though it's still muggy. Out to the west, though, this is where it is thick, and that's why the shower and thunderstorm chances have been best out there. As we go through the night, we do have a little disturbance that's riding through the Tennessee Valley. We're going to get clipped by that, so you can see the scattered showers and storms that have been firing up in lower Ohio, southern Ohio, for those of you who actually speak English. But we're going to continue to watch how this clips up over us as we go through the weekend. Now, that being said, we also have this coming this weekend. This is a cold front. This is going to be one that makes a big impact on the outcome for the day come Monday and Tuesday. Here's your National Design hour-by-hour forecast. That cold front starts to barge in here just about the time that little disturbance activates some new showers and storms. Notice it is not a washout, but we have rain and shower chances. By the time Sunday comes in, we're still not dealing with a washout, but better chances for rain and storms will be coming in the afternoon and the evening. Universal Windows Direct Outlook spells it out for you. Mid-80s through the weekend with the scattered rain and storm chances. But look, next week, we'll have a few little showers thanks to some unsettled transition weather on Monday, but mid-70s and mostly sunny on Tuesday. Jay, we're going to call it refreshing.
All right, I like that. Refreshing. I guess we're ready for some of that. Thanks, Bets. We'll see you in a bit. COVID casualty. Which landmark Shaker Square restaurant won't reopen its doors? We'll have that ahead and clicking in Cleveland. And no fans allowed. Jim Donovan takes us inside Browns training camp as the whole team hits the field today. All right, it is time right now to see what is clicking in Cleveland. Laura Queso is in for Stephanie Haney today. Happy Friday, Laura.
Happy Friday. Doesn't that sound nice?
It does.
Oh, it's here. Okay, let's get to it. Our first story comes from the ongoing saga surrounding the embattled public electric utility, Cleveland Public Power. Former Cleveland Mayor and Congressman Dennis Kucinich is calling for customers to receive an immediate rate cut. Now, this comes a day after our very own Mark Namick revealed that in a briefing last year, the utility was described as unsustainable. Rate increases were proposed in response to issues surrounding financial woes, poor management, and reliability issues described in the briefing. Kucinich came under fire during his time as Cleveland mayor for refusing to sell off the utility, then known as Municipal Light, right as the city defaulted on its debt. And a Shaker Square restaurant is the latest restaurant to fall victim to the COVID-19 economy. Douglas Katz, chef and owner of Fire Restaurant, announced today that after 20 years, his restaurant will not reopen. Known for its new American style, Fire was one of the first restaurants to put Cleveland's restaurant scene in the national spotlight. And definitely a landmark that will be missed. I actually just got off the phone with him literally 10 minutes ago, Jay. And he says he just wants to thank the community for their unwavering support. He has some things in the work. That's going to come up on What's Next, of course, at 11 o'clock tonight. But I didn't try it. I hear it was wonderful. It was his baby, his first restaurant. And it will truly be missed. That's what people are clicking on today, clearly.
It will. It did. It started a movement, really, of great restaurants here in Cleveland. No industry has taken it on the chin like the restaurant industry throughout this COVID-19 pandemic. Laura, thank you very much. We'll see you soon.
Sure.
Still ahead on What's New. We are live from Browns training camp. How exciting is this? Football season is close when you know we're going to Berea. Fans can't get in, but Jimmy Donovan's going to tell us all about what happened on the field today.
And one of America's favorite couples is expecting another baby, believe it or not. Chrissy Teigen and John Legend have another one on the way.
And Parma is honoring residents who take pride in their yard. We're going to take a look at some of the winners when What's New rolls on. That's beautiful.
That was a very dramatic pause.
Well, I'm just blown away by this man's yard.
I was like.
And now, live from WKYC Studios, this is What's New.
We made it to Friday.
No, I need a
Thank
trophy
goodness.
for that.
Yeah.
I do.
I had Monday off, but it's one of those weeks like where you jump back with both feet
Yeah.
and you kind of go down to the bottom and you have trouble getting back to the top.
Well, the good news when you do a Monday
Yeah.
to start or Tuesday to start, you have Monday off, you're like 20% to the finish line.
Yeah.
So it makes the week so much better.
But yesterday I started to realize like, whoa, I haven't caught up yet. Like, so it's been a little busy. But anywho, that's my problem, not yours. Thank you so much for watching What's New. I'm Betsy Kling here with Jay Crawford yet again. And Jay, today, Browns fans can get excited again.
Yeah, it's almost like Happy New Year, Betsy, because it is the beginning. Training camp underway now. Still hopeful that we're going to have a season. Who knows what's going to happen there. Big difference, though, between all other Browns training camps and this year. No fans in Berea. Deathly silent. But the media finally gets to take a look at how this team is looking. The Browns are our top talker this half hour as the full team is on the field in the next phase of training camp. And our Jimmy Donovan joins us now on What's New. He's the voice of the Browns. He is plugged in, and he comes to us from Berea tonight. Jim, everyone wants to know, how's the team looking?
Well, I'll tell you what, Jay, it was good to see them out on the field. But I would say this, and I think this goes for the coach and all the players. They miss all of you out there that you're not here during training camp. It really is a stark difference from this time last year when we had sellout crowds jamming inside the Berea practice fields to see the Browns with the anticipation of the Browns being a great football team last year. Now, they weren't a great football team last year, but we still loved having all of you. So it was amazingly different, and that's the way it's going to be. But they are on the field under new head coach Kevin Stefanski and quarterback Baker Mayfield, always under the microscope. First of all, everyone's looking at his physical conditioning, which is superb. And he went to work on that immediately after the season last year, which he knew personally was disappointing to him. He had to get in better shape. He had to be quicker. He had to be more mobile in the pocket. He had to stop taking hits. The one way to do that is to physically get away from them, be quicker. So he went on a tough diet, a new nutrition regime, no Mexican food. That did it, I guess.
I think there was a lot of plays looking back on last year. Physically, I wasn't able to work out as much being beat up. So I was heavier than I was ever playing before at a playing weight. I needed to be able to have the scrambling ability to move in the pocket.
Now, this is a different offense, and he's going to have to be able to roll out a lot more. It's going to be a shorter passing game for a lot of the time because they have loaded up with tight ends. They want to throw it to Kareem Hunt out of the backfield. They want to throw it to Nick Chubb out of the backfield. And they don't want to always have to hit the home run ball to Odell Beckham Jr. and Jarvis Landry. Mayfield admits that's probably one of the biggest faults last year. They were big play hungry too many times when there were solid little plays out there that just would have kept them in possession. All right, Jay, got to give you a little bit of bad news early. Center J.C. Tretter is out right now. He had a procedure on his knee. Now, we're hearing it was just a cleanup procedure. But remember, this is the effects of not having the offseason and not being able to be in the building and around your own training staff. He probably would have had that procedure done earlier if we were under normal circumstances. So there is a question mark as to whether or not he would be ready on opening day. Now, they're not saying he won't be ready or he will, but that is a question mark because we have such a short period of time. That means rookie Nick Harris, a draft choice out of Washington, he would move into the center spot. What an opportunity for him. Other than that, they look good. Myles Garrett didn't practice. It was just great seeing them.
Yeah, I bet. Now, globally, Jim, yesterday we heard that the Cowboys are going to try to put fans in their home stadium for football games. And that immediately has fans across the league saying, well, wait a minute, what about us? Will we be allowed to go to see our team? Are you hearing anything on that, not just with the Browns, but league-wide? Will there be fans inside NFL stadiums this fall?
I would say the first answer is the NFL would like to see fans in the stands, but it's going to be up to the particular cities and states that those teams are located in and the health directors there and what they're going to say about allowing people in. Now, the Cowboys, Jerry Jones, they're very, very Public, owner of the team, said yesterday he feels they can put 50% capacity in AT&T Stadium. Jay, down there in Dallas, that's about 50,000. That seats close to 100,000 in that stadium. So I think the Browns and every other team would like to have people in the seats, but they're going to let it go to the health directors in the state and the local cities that they are residing in.
All right, everybody is waiting to see whether or not going to games will be a possibility. And if they do limit fans, tickets are going to be really hard to come by. Jimmy, thank you so much. It's just great to be talking Browns football again. We'll see you at 6.
Okay, thanks, Jay.
Betsy?
All right, well, now we're going to toss it over to Laura Queso with some of the other stories making headlines today. Hi there, Laura.
Hi, Betsy. All right, still no movement on Capitol Hill over a new coronavirus stimulus package and funding the U.S. Postal Service. That's part of the holdup here. Democrats are backing a proposal for $25 billion to prop up the struggling federal service, including $3.5 billion for mail-in voting. President Donald Trump told Fox Business that he opposes that funding, and without it, he doesn't think the Postal Service can handle the flood of mail-in ballots expected this fall. The USPS has now warned several states that their election laws may not allow time for people to request and then return ballots in time to be counted. Well, a somber sight will be missing from the skies of New York City this 9/11. The twin beams of light memorializing the terror attack on the World Trade Center will not shine. That's because of the coronavirus pandemic. Organizers were worried about the workers who set up those lights. The beams, though, will be replaced with blue lights on buildings in Manhattan this year. New research has uncovered bugs in Amazon's Alexa that could expose a whole host of private info to potential hackers. The bugs can make a user's entire voice history vulnerable, as well as any data from apps added to the device. A hacker could even add a malicious app to steal more data. Amazon says it has already patched the flaws. I knew I shouldn't have gotten an Alexa. My dad said, Laura, I'm going to set it up for you. You want it, you want it, you want it. And now I'm like, do I really want it? I don't know.
I'm going to tell you what, my 5-year-old loves that thing because she can tell somebody what to do.
That is
so.
true.
Our entire voice history consists of what does the fox say, baby shark, all that kind of stuff.
Amazing.
Yeah.
All right,
Simon
fair
Says
enough.
there's an app for that. So good times out there, certainly. All right, Laura, thanks. We'll see you coming up at What Matters Most at 6 o'clock.
Sure.
Okay, today's Show Us Something Good comes from Parma. City leaders select residents, I love this, for the Good Neighbor Pride Award. What a great idea. It recognizes homeowners who invest in their homes and their yards. Mayor Tim DeGeeter chose this house because of its paradise theme. Betsy, this is the picture that took my breath away earlier.
That's amazing.
The owner built a pond and then he hand painted that American flag on the side of his garage. I think that's beautiful. He said he bought the house from his grandmother in 2008 and shares the home improvement project photos with her.
Wow, there is so much work that has been done there. This one also was selected by Councilwoman Linda Kohar. The lawn is edged beautifully and is described to be a picturesque Parma home. That is gorgeous.
See, the reason I think that's so beautiful is it would inspire others to really take pride in their yard and their home and the general curb appeal, because it's sort of a competition. You might pick us. Who knows?
Meanwhile, in my house, the front yard, if it's a weed that's green, it's just fine. That's just greenery to go along with everything else.
It just blends right in,
That's
right?
it, yeah. Nobody will know.
I think that's a great idea. I think more communities should do it. It's very cool.
It's cool.
Okay, next up, Loretta Paganini is satisfying our Italian taste buds. And Betsy, this was such a tease because I tasted it with her the other day. And as we know, these days when we do food segments, we can look, but it's over Zoom and we can't taste. Her cavatelli looks amazing.
It does look good. And certainly, you know, you may be thinking of some cooler weather. Cavatelli goes great in pasta salad, by the way. And we do have some cooler weather that's coming. It's just on the other side of the weekend and on the other side of scattered rain and storm chances. I'll break it all down for you in the forecast next.
Welcome back to What's New. The streets of Little Italy should be packed this weekend for the Feast of the Assumption, but that's not going to happen. It will not be celebrated publicly because of COVID-19. To keep the spirit alive, though, we asked you to send us pictures with your favorite feast memories. This one is great. Mary Kay Jarrett sent it to us. She wrote that this picture was taken on August 15th, 1945. How about that? She said there was so much to be thankful for on that day. And Jeffrey Rogers sent this one of him and his significant other enjoying a night at the feast. Wow, great pictures. If you want to get the taste of an authentic Italian meal, and who doesn't, we have Loretta Paganini here with us now to show us how we can make homemade cavatelli.
So I'm sauteing my onion in extra virgin olive oil to make my fresh pomodoro sauce. Of course, I'm adding garlic, saute it for a little bit, and then I take my basil and literally tear it and put it right in there to flavor the oil with the basil flavor. You can add a little bit of the crushed red pepper in there if you wanted a little kick. And then here I have fresh passata di pomodoro. Passata di pomodoro is a wonderful tomato sauce that is made with summer tomatoes, so it has a lot of flavor. Notice that I'm cooking my sauce in a stainless steel pan so the tomato don't react with the metal. And also, I'm only gonna cook my sauce for about 15 minutes because I want the fresh tomato flavor to really come out to play. And then I want to show you how to make the pasta. So I use Italian flour called 00. And I use a food processor to make my job easier. I have an egg, a teaspoon of salt. Notice how I measure it very carefully. Ricotta cheese. And then I process it. And what that is going to give me a very soft dough. You don't want a tough dough, you want a nice soft one. And then you're gonna cut a piece and you're gonna make it into a long roll. And you can just use it the old-fashioned way with a knife and just roll it like that. Or you can use a gnocchi board and do the same thing. So it has, you see those little ridges that help the sauce stick to the pasta. Or you can use a cavatelli maker. This is my grandchildren's favorite thing to do. Look how easy it makes the cavatelli. You can make that cavatelli for an Italian family with about 100 people, right? And it will be perfect. Voila. And it's beautiful. You cook it until it's al dente and toss it with your fresh pomodoro sauce. And wow, what a meal.
Oh, look at that. You're making me very hungry again.
Show you the color. You have red, green, and white. And that just happened to be the Italian flag. How about that, Jay?
I'd never thought about that before, but it does. It's the Italian flag. Betsy, these segments, when I tape them with her, are torture because she gets the close-up of she puts it right up in the camera, and I'm looking at it like, oh gosh, I would love to taste that right now, but we can't.
Well, she was doing these, so they have the Loretta Paganini School of Cooking,
yes,
of course.
You
can do online courses, which are great, and she was doing this thing where they would make the food for you, and you go pick it up, you take it home, you reheat it, and then you get on Zoom, and as you're eating it, she tells you how she made it. So we did that as a family one night. It was super fun.
So you don't have to cook it?
You don't have to cook it. You just reheat. It was great.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, total bonus. So
yeah,
anytime you can not have to cook, that's even better.
Especially if you get to eat her food. Loretta's food is just ridiculous.
So good, certainly. And I'll tell you what, grilling, salads, light food, that's kind of where everybody's going lately.
We did a pasta salad segment that we're going to play next week.
Well, there you go. See?
Yeah.
Of course, next week it'll be cooler. So. Anyway, that's the forecast preview for you. Let's take a look at what is going on with our forecast here. We do have some isolated rain and rumble chances happening this evening. Better chances coming as we go through the weekend. But in the meantime, here's over the next few hours, we just have mostly cloudy skies for much of northeast Ohio. Now, I mentioned the blips on the radar, but look at this. We're still cruising in the 80s here, friends. It'll be back into the 70s as we pass the midnight hour. You can see the rain and thunderstorms off to the west of us. A few little blips here and there, specifically out into Huron County where the rain is not not living its best life at this point. And then otherwise, I don't even think this is any rain. This is just kind of some disturbances on the radar. But, you know, it is plenty warm out there. We're sitting in the 80s across Northeast Ohio. Still pretty muggy out there, too. So we are definitely feeling things as far as the summer heat, the summer humidity. The disturbance that is riding through the Tennessee Valley has really kind of been the focus of the forecast over the last couple of days. And the forecast models that kind of help to guide us really have not had a very good handle on it. So we were looking for something else that would be a little bit more definitive to pin the forecast on, and that would be this baby. This is a cold front. This is the one that's going to really make a change in how things feel around here. That will be coming in on Sunday. So in the meantime, Friday night, Saturday, early Sunday, we still have to deal with this disturbance that's moving through. The good news is the dew points and the mugginess will be going away. It's a nice slide on the muggy meter. You can see by the time we get into Monday, we're back down into the 50s, Tuesday, and that's where we're going to stay next week. We also have cooler temperatures that will be coming in. Now, that being said, we have mostly cloudy skies with sun peaks for tomorrow. Still going to be feeling very muggy. We'll throw in scattered rain and storm chances, but really not anything to pin your day on or cancel any plans yet. Just know, hit or miss, basically scattered rain and thunder chances will be with us as we go through the day tomorrow. Jay had asked about the Lake Erie nearshore water forecast. East-southeast winds at 8 knots, waves at 1 to 2 feet. Nice day on the water. 75-degree water temperature off of Cleveland. Remember, that's 40 feet down. That is not the surface water temperature, which is a little bit warmer. Universal Windows direct forecast has us in the mid-80s all the way through Sunday. Hang in there. The humidity is with us. But by the time we get to Monday, other than a few instability showers as we transition to the cooler, drier air that gets here Tuesday, we have a beautiful forecast for the start of the week next week. And by the end of next week, we're going to start to see the pendulum swing right back into the very summery mid-80s. Jay?
All right, looks pretty good. Thank you, Bets. Twilight fans, we have some good news for you. The author has more books in the works. Just how many? Find out next in Pop Break. And this quarantine trick shot is worth the watch. What happens after he bounces the ball off the wall? You'll see it coming up.
You know what that music means? It's now time for our Pop Break, and we are on baby watch for another celebrity couple, Chrissy Teigen and John Legend. And Twilight fans, you might be getting another book to read. I have all the details in today's Pop Break.
You should know right now that I never stay put in one place forever.
Miley Cyrus is having an eventful week. The senior dropped a brand new song and music video called Midnight Sky, ended a nearly one-year-long relationship, and told all in a new episode of the hit Barstool Sports podcast, Call Her Daddy. The singer told Call Her Daddy host Alexandra Cooper all about her love life and the struggles she's gone through to finally get to the place she's at today.
I love who I am so much right now. If any of those things wouldn't have happened, I'm not sure that I would be the same person, so I'm just super stoked.
And while Miley is singing about midnight skies, people on social media can't stop raving about Midnight Sun. The Twilight follow-up book was released less than 2 weeks ago, but already author Stephenie Meyer is talking about the possibility of more Edward and Bella. According to Meyer, there are at least 2 more books in the works for the series. Midnight Sun is written from Edward's point of view and takes place at the same time as Twilight, so it's possible we may get Edward's POV for New Moon or Eclipse next. And one of Hollywood's favorite couples is expanding. John Legend released his music video for Wild yesterday, and fans were taken aback to watch and see John and Chrissy cradling a bump. Many were unsure at first if this was a real confirmation, but Chrissy made it loud and clear on Instagram and Twitter that there was, in fact, a third baby on the way.
Look at this third baby.
What a cute way to announce it. Congratulations. Well, congratulations, as I was saying there. Certainly a very important announcement for that family. And, you know, it's kind of funny when I just love John Legend. I think he's just so absolutely ridiculously talented. But Chrissy Teigen is such a funny, like, opposite of him. And the way they interact is hysterical.
I like John because he's a Buckeye. You know,
okay, there's that too.
He's a good guy. Okay, our Worth the Watch is next, and we have a pretty neat quarantine trick shot to show you. How does this trick shot end? Well, you're just going to have to come back and find out.
What?
All right, we're wrapping up another week of What's New with our Worth the Watch. Trick shots, as you know, Betsy, became very popular during quarantine. Because
Corey Crawford.
We were looking for things to do, yeah, especially with my son. This one comes from Maine. I love this. This guy has a cup taped to his head. He bounced the ball, ping pong ball, off of his head, off the wall. It goes into the cup, and then he leans over. Watch, it's in the cup. Now he leans over, and it bounces again, and then into the second cup.
Wow.
Pretty crazy.
Quarantine has done things to people. This is very...
Yeah, it's bored us to this.
This is, wow, this is next level. And the best part is how excited he is.
Yeah, he's so pumped. And honestly, I think I could try that 3 or 4 times and do it. I do. It wasn't really that great.
I wonder if we could do a Throwdown Thursday.
We're out of time. Join us Monday for a new What's New. Have a great weekend, Betsy, and you at home.
Thank you, everybody, for watching. What Matters Most starts now.